How can I improve my English speaking on my own? That's the number one question I get asked as an English coach. I'm going to answer that question in this video with 3 tips that will help you improve your English speaking in an easy and fun way. But before we get to those life-changing tips, and yes, I do believe that that is not hyperbole to say that they are life-changing. I really do think they can drastically help you. But before we get to those tips, I would like to ask you a question. Do you really want to improve your English speaking? Or a better question would be, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is improving your English speaking to you right now? And why? You see, English is just a tool. It is a tool that can help you build the life you want, but just like every tool, you are going to need it to differing amounts at differing ages and stages of your life. If we haven't met, my name is Sarah from Free Your English. I help intermediate to advanced learners speak English with greater clarity and confidence. No, I am not in an episode of Outlander, although it might look like it. It's just really cold here in Scotland, and this is the best place to film at night without disturbing my family. Give me a minute, I'm just going to stoke the fire. That's better. Where were we? How motivated are you to improve your English speaking? You might be like my client Matus, who went through an intense learning transformation driven by his career goals. Matus was a really wonderful client I worked with back in 2017 when I was living in Brazil and working on italki. Matus was living in Argentina and working as a software engineer. He had an extremely advanced level of English and was generally confident in using it. He managed an international team speaking only English. However, he hadn't mastered the communication skills needed to do really well in interviews, which is why he contacted me and asked for coaching to help him improve his interview confidence. We worked together to help Matus learn to structure his interview responses and to improve the clarity of how he described his career achievements. I only worked with him for a few weeks, but in that time he managed to get the dream job he wanted in Finland. The last time I spoke to him, he called to say thank you and to tell me how he was getting on settling into his new job, new country, new country and new life. Working with Matus was an absolute joy, but another absolute joy was knowing that I was not needed anymore. When he was working with me intensely, his desire to improve his English speaking skills was about a 30 out of 10. Seriously, I've never seen anyone more motivated. That's because he was in transition. He was between jobs and felt like this was his big chance to also move countries. He was willing to do anything to make that happen. Once he arrived in Finland, though, he didn't need to keep up that level of intensity. His focus quite rightly shifted to different goals. Yes, he was still going to need the tool of English, but it wasn't the most important thing he needed to work on. Matus is a lifelong learner, so he will keep improving, but not at such a high level of intensity. My husband also had a similar story to Matus, as prior to us moving to Scotland, he didn't speak any English with me, or even with anyone. And actually he felt both that he didn't want to and he couldn't. Seriously, people would bug him all the time by asking him why he wasn't taking advantage of having a British English teacher as a wife. He just really didn't want to speak English though. That changed when we came to the UK. There's nothing quite as motivating as needing to put food on your table for your family. I'm super proud of him, as when we arrived in the UK, he dived in headfirst and managed to cope with working here in Scotland pretty soon after arriving. Do you have a huge goal or massive life transition that is pushing you to improve? It's really important to be honest with yourself about why you need to improve your English speaking to avoid damaging your confidence. If you need to improve to get that job or university place or to launch your company in an English speaking market or some other life-changing goal, then your level of commitment is of course going to be different from if you just kind of would like to be better at speaking English. Knowing that and being okay with that is important. You will see progress if you don't have a huge big goal, but it just won't be as fast. You see, we only have so many hours in the day. If this is your desire to improve your English speaking, and this is your life, work or school, caring for others, commuting, cooking, cleaning, hobbies, and so on, it can be hard to make it fit. Personally, I don't really have a good reason to improve my Portuguese, and that's really led to a lot of wasted energy. Back when I first met my husband, it felt like the most important thing in the world to be able to communicate well with him and his family. I managed to go from a zero beginner to being able to communicate generally at A2 level in about 3 months, which was a huge achievement for me. I wanted to speak at that point. And then when I moved to Brazil, there was of course a natural desire to keep improving and keep getting better. Now we live in the UK and his family in Brazil have got used to hearing my intermediate Portuguese with the same limited vocabulary. Meu amor, como você fala I'm confused? Eu estou confusada? Eu estou confusão?
Pelo amor de Deus, Sara. Nenhum dos dois. Eu estou confusa.
Confusa. I've found it hard to move forward. For years, I've kept saying I should go and learn Portuguese grammar properly. That would help me improve. But I don't actually really want to. For me, admitting that has been really freeing. In English, we have a phrase in the self-help world, stop shoulding all over yourself, which means stop wasting your energy, forcing yourself to do what you think you should do rather than what you want to do. The word should holds such judgment and we can be so hard on ourselves. Yes, I probably should learn Portuguese in a more structured way, but I don't want to. Yes, I should open the textbook I brought, but I really don't want to. Hey, this is future Sarah interrupting for a moment during the editing of this video. I made fortuitously a small error, and I just want to really take a moment to point out even native speakers make silly mistakes. Can you catch the silly mistake that I made? Open the textbook I brought. Open the textbook I brought. Tell me in the comments if you can notice it. I am a mother and a wife, and I have a full-time job teaching high school English to native speakers that is very intense, as working with children is a huge responsibility that I do not take lightly. And I have a YouTube channel I would love to grow, and a new puppy, and a brain that works in a different way to most folks and needs a lot of rest. What I actually want is to enjoy watching films and TV programs in Portuguese. What I actually want is to increase my vocabulary and naturally absorb good grammar so that I can communicate with my husband's family, who are all wicked smart and engaging people. What I actually want is to have fun and joy in my life, not more tasks that feel heavy. Admitting that has been really freeing. This self-honesty led me to start using a really fun tool that I will tell you about for tip number 3. I'm going to get into the 3 tips that will help you improve your speaking, but I first wanted to say, be honest with yourself about how much time and energy you have to improve. Stop shitting all over yourself and do what feels fun. Tip number 1, make doing English speaking practice a daily habit. I'll explain why this is so important, and at the end of this tip, I'm also going to give you a secret way you can massively increase your fluency to help you sound more like a native English speaker. Most people know that doing English speaking practice daily makes sense. However, most people don't do it because they falsely think it needs to be difficult and it needs to take up a lot of time. Getting on a Zoom call every day with a speaking partner, even speaking partners that you want to speak to, is indeed a lot of time and effort. You don't have to go to that level of time and effort every day, though, to improve. Think of your speaking journey as sculpting a masterpiece from a block of marble. Every day you carve away a small piece, and each daily piece of small effort contributes to creating intricate details. Over time, those small, consistent actions compound, revealing the masterpiece within the marble. I like to incorporate my learning goals into my life using the NET principle, no extra time, which means I try to find ways to learn while commuting, cleaning, walking the puppy, and so on. I have a 5-day challenge that offers practical steps to help you with your daily English speaking habits. Link is in the description. Also, my 2024 English Learning Planner has yearly and monthly habit trackers in it, if that kind of thing floats your boat. Again, link is in the description and both are completely free. Here are some suggestions of ways you can do small pieces of speaking throughout your day. Turn your commute into a language lesson by listening to podcasts or language learning materials. And then practice speaking by responding to prompts, mimicking pronunciation, or best of all, summarizing what you listened to. Use shower time to practice speaking. Narrate your plans for the day, describe objects in the bathroom, or have a short conversation with yourself. While cooking or doing dishes, describe the steps of the recipe or talk about your day. You could use cooking terms and vocabulary related to meal preparation. While watching TV, mute the sound during commercials or between scenes. Practice speaking by narrating what happened or predicting the next scene. At night, you could reflect on your day or plan for tomorrow while doing your evening routine. These are just some examples of no extra time or NET strategies that help ensure that you're able to make the most of the small moments that you have to practice speaking and gives you a better chance of integrating speaking into your daily routine. Tell me in the comments, which of these have you tried? Do you have any other examples that I haven't thought of? I would love to hear from you. Remember I said I was going to tell you how to increase your fluency? Well, here it is. Chunking. Just as you are separating your speaking practice into small chunks or pieces throughout your day that will mean you make the most of your time and effort, it can also be really useful each day to focus on learning some new chunks or pieces of language. Take the example I just used, time and effort. That's a piece or a collocation, a set of words that go together. When I was teaching at an ESL college in Vancouver, many of my students would ask to make a picture on their last day. A native English speaker would always ask to take a picture. It's a really small change, but it makes a huge difference in how you are perceived and how you are understood. Mastering collocations not only enriches vocabulary, but also ensures that expressions sound authentic and contextually appropriate. Collocations bring nuance, accuracy, and depth to your communication, allowing you to express your ideas seamlessly and demonstrating to others that you understand the subtle shades of everyday conversation. Focusing on collocations can massively improve your fluency and really help you communicate better with native speakers. Word Forum is an excellent site that gives a lot of details about collocations and how to use them. In summary, speak daily, even if it's a really small amount, and use collocations. Tip number 2, Focus on dialogues, not monologues. When you go out in the real world and speak with people, you are doing both listening and speaking. Likewise, when you're working on your speaking skills at home, you need to do both. I know that sounds obvious, but so many people forget this, or they are used to learning systems where they were asked to read or study grammar and then try to speak. The easiest way to create the feeling of having a natural conversation, i.e. listening and then speaking, is to do exactly that. Listen to something and then speak about it. Here are some examples. Listen to a podcast and then speak out loud a summary of what you heard. Watch a scene from a TV program or film and then give your opinion about what the main character should do next. Listen to a song and then describe what it made you think of. Listen to a story and then retell it in your own words. Watch a TED Talk and then describe whether you agree or disagree with the presenter's views. In summary, listen and then speak and then repeat. Tip number 3, make it fun. I once had a flatmate who was an aspiring actress. She was outgoing and vivacious. She was part of a dance group and loved to go clubbing. Basically, she was a bit of a party animal. However, she was also very spiritual, so I invited her to a meditation event at the yoga studio I used to go to. I'll never forget, as it started, the presenter said, "We are going to have such a fun evening together." Chantal turned to me and said with a cheeky smile, "I think she and I have really different views about what constitutes fun." That made me laugh, but it is so true. Fun is different for everyone. You need to be honest about what is really fun for you. No shooting all over yourself. If you don't like TED Talks, don't make yourself watch them. I have recently started a new service that has made my Portuguese learning fun again. It's called LingoPie. It's been a game changer for me because it has given me a fun way of improving. How it works is that they have thousands of movies, TV shows, telenovelas, comedies, news programs, and so on that have double subtitles and built-in language learning tools that help you develop your vocabulary. All you need to do is press play, watch a little, learn new vocabulary from context, and then pause to speak about it. It feels fun, and therefore I do more. If you love watching TV and movies and want to try a fun way of using that time to also improve your English, check out my link in the description. Tell me in the comment section, what series are you currently binge watching and what do you love about it? We can inspire each other to watch it on LingoPie. Another fun way to improve your English speaking at home is to use Talk to ChatGPT to have real-time conversations. Yes, you can use ChatGPT with voice technology that will allow it to actually speak with you as if you were speaking with a speaking partner. If you aren't sure how to use that voice technology, check out my video here that walks you through the entire process. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.